Hi, welcome to another YouTube video that I felt compelled to put up for you. During the week, a lady who I am in a group with posted something about procrastination, and this is something that I'm really familiar with in myself and something that I know that I've been very guilty of in the past, and that recently I've come to some results. I've been able to improve that for myself. Still something I need to be aware of. It hasn't gone away, but I've certainly put some activities and some actions and some processes in place that have helped me get over this debilitating procrastination. So when we say procrastination, I mean, we're really just indicating that either consciously or subconsciously we know there's something we should be doing, we want to do, or we need to do that we're putting off. So we need to look at all those different areas. Now, I've just completed a really informative, I go to say life-changing, and it's used a bit often, but it probably has been life-changing for me, an online program called Universal Business. Now, in Universal Business, they say there is no such thing as procrastination. Procrastination is just a state of misalignment. You're out of alignment with your higher self, with your energy, that type of thing. Now, procrastination, I think, as I say, is just a word. It's a verb that we're familiar with to describe an action or lack of action. And as I say, it can mean that you're out of alignment. It can mean laziness, and I've had to own up to that, and that's not something that I really wanted to do. I had to admit I was being lazy. It can mean you're just unmotivated, you're unsure of the next step, you're scared, there's fear associated. So procrastination can just be the result of any one of these states, all of which are out of alignment with your higher self. So I need to be very wary of saying I am a procrastinator, because I've done that for a long time. Now, remember, procrastination is an action or a lack of action. It's not a title. It's not a thing. It's not an identity. It doesn't have to be what you are. You know, I am a woman. I shouldn't say I am a procrastinator. It is an action or lack of action, so therefore we can change it really quite easily if we decide to, and if it becomes important enough to us. So as I said before, we have things we need to do, and when we describe our action as procrastination, we aren't doing these things. So we need to look at everything in a day that we think we should do, and I think it really helps to start defining those things. Is it something that you need to do? Now, there are certain things in life that we need to do and we may not want to. I need to get the kids ready for school. I need to cook dinner. There are times I need to pay the bills. I need to get the taxes in at a certain time. I guess I do choose to get the kids ready for school. That's probably a bad example, but I don't choose to do those things, you know, in my fun time. It's what I need to do. So I need to identify there's those things. Then I need to identify there are other things that I think I should do. So that word should indicates that I don't really want to, I don't really need to, but for some reason, which is generally an external, we're seeking external approval, or we're seeking to keep someone else happy at the expense of ourselves, something that we should do. We really need to look at those and determine, is it a should? Do you actually want to do it? Do you actually need to do it? Then we have things that we want to do. This is the area that baffled me, because most of what I was putting off were things that I wanted to do. So if I want to do it, why was I choosing to sit on the lounge and watch television instead? Why was I getting to the end of the day and that thing just wasn't done? I realized for me, it was because I wanted to do it in that I wanted to achieve an end goal, but that goal seemed so big that it didn't seem like these little things I would do every day would actually make a difference to that goal, or I wasn't sure what to do. So I'd look at the goal of I want to write a book, or I ultimately want to deliver a seminar, or whatever it might be. what could I do today in my house, sitting here on the Sunshine Coast? What could I do that would actually facilitate that? It just didn't fit. The jump was too big. There wasn't a bridge to it. So it was very easy to put those things off. Yes, I wanted to achieve a goal, but that goal wasn't going to be achieved today. So I might as well sit and watch a TV show. So I think that's the first thing we need to do. Look at what you're procrastinating about. Be prepared to sit down and some self-reflection and self-thought and go, okay, you've identified yourself as a procrastinator, which means you're in the action of procrastinating. What are you procrastinating about? Let's get that on paper first. So I'm not communicating well with my partner. I should be calling the school and discussing a problem with a teacher. I need to write 5 pages in a book that I want to write. What is it that you're actually putting off? Do you even know? So sit down and write down all of those things that are causing you to call yourself a procrastinator. Then we want to put them in those 3 groups. Do you need to do it? Should you do it? Or do you want to do it? And the simplest thing once we've done that to do and to free our mind and free our time is let's look at the shoulds, and if they're really shoulds and you really don't want to do them, let's get rid of them. If they're shoulds and you decide you want to do them, well, they're on your I want to list. Take responsibility for that. It's not a should anymore. So, do you need to do it? Should you do it? Do you want to do it? Create those lists and own the lists. That's the first thing. Once you've done that, do you need tos? Have a time in a day. I've had different periods through my life where I've had things I need to do that I really, really didn't want to do. And they were usually things at the time when we were going through a financial crisis, debtors that I had to deal with, lawyers that I had to speak to, that sort of thing. I will never say I wanted to do that. So what I needed to do was I sat down, I said, okay, these are needs, they have to be done. When am I going to do it? Okay, Monday, 9 a.m. I deal with this. Whatever's been caused from the week before, which is a need to, I'm going to deal with it then. When it's finished, it's over for the week. It's not going to impact my life. So I do a pretty similar thing now, although the things that I need to do that I put off aren't so major, in that with my to-do list, which I will talk about later, I do put those need to things on there quite often, and I try to get them done relatively early. They don't interrupt my really early morning time, because I generally get up at 4:30 and I spend that first sort of hour to 2 hours, depending on the children's schedules. I spend that time doing my stuff. I don't do my shoulds, I don't do my need tos in there. But once I've dropped the kids and my official day starts, those need tos need to be done. So once you've got those lists, I think you get a lot clearer on what's missing. Is it that you don't know what you want to do? Is it that you're ignoring something that you need to do because it's painful? So, you look at that for what it is and spend some time looking at that, self-reflection, go through them, talk to someone if you need to. Once that's done, we can then sit down and go, okay, what is our end goal? What, with these things that I'm thinking I want to do and I'm putting them off, why do I want to do them? What is my end goal? So my end goal would be, I actually want to be up on stage speaking to people. I want to help change the lives of thousands of people positively. And, I want to write books. I want to be an influential, positive person in the world. So I need to look at that end goal and I need to visualize it. I need to really determine, is that where I'm going? Now, once you've done that, if procrastination is still a problem, I want you to do a little exercise. And I want you to take your time to do this. And I'll probably go through this again in its own video. But what I want you to do is sit and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to imagine that you are 10 years from now. And you're sitting with your significant other, you're sitting with your child, you're sitting with your parent, you're sitting with an influential friend, and you are talking about the last 10 years and what you have achieved and what you haven't achieved. And I want you to imagine in that conversation that you haven't achieved this goal. You've really got no closer to it. You've had this desire, you've had this passion, you've had a goal you want to achieve, and you've really done nothing towards it. I want you to imagine how that feels. Really feel it in your heart and your soul. What does it feel like not to have achieved that goal? Not to have solidified the steps that you need to make to get there? Not to have made significant progress towards that goal? How does that feel? What is the person saying to you? Imagine the look in their eye. And I really want you to feel that. Then I want you to open your eyes and come back to the world. And I want you to ask yourself, do you want to feel that way? Is that how you want to feel in 10 years' time? Because right now you have the choice. You've got so much you can do in that period of time. Do you want to feel the way you just felt when you sat next to that friend or family member? Now I want you to close your eyes again. And I want you to go to the same place in 10 years' time and sit with the same person. And I want you to be having the same conversation. But this time I want you to tell them how much you've achieved in the last 10 years. This time I want you to imagine you've achieved that goal. This time I want you to imagine that everything you can feel yourself capable of being has come true. I want you to feel success. I want you to feel happiness. I want you to feel fulfilled. I want you to feel proud. Imagine the look in their eye then. Imagine what they're saying to you. Imagine what it feels like. How good do you feel inside that you have achieved this? I want you to open your eyes and come back. And I want you to remember that feeling. How did it feel to look 10 years' time and go, wow, look what I've done. Look how I feel. Now, with those feelings very fresh in your mind and your heart and your soul and your energy, I want you to look at your lists again. What do you need to do now? What step can you take to getting closer to that positive feeling? Getting closer to that achievement. Now that step may be that you need to spend time working out what that goal even is. The step will be small, but that's the step you need to take. And once you own that step, once you know there's a purpose to it, procrastination doesn't come into it so much because you're in alignment. You've listened to you. You're living on passion. So if this is an issue for you, you may find that even that still leaves you a bit, oh, I'm not sure. I actually then had to do something very physical about it. So I started using to-do lists. I'm not a list person. I'm not great at sort of getting to the end of the day and there's something on the list that I haven't achieved. That cannot make me feel good. But it was posted on Facebook. It aligned with me. It felt right for me, so I thought I'm going to do them, but I'm going to do them my way. So I've got an exercise book, which I have on my desk all the time now, and this is what I do. It's not neat, it's not pretty, but each day I write the date, the night before I write what do I need to achieve or want to. They've got needs on there and I've got wants. So what do I need to achieve? What do I want to achieve? And I highlight them as I do them, just so that I can feel through the day like I'm getting somewhere. Down here, I've actually chosen to write the times that I complete them, because sometimes we can put something off thinking it will take a long time. And that's just really helped me realize how much I can get done in blocks of time. So that works for me. But I really find if you're struggling with this procrastination, start doing this. What do you want to achieve tomorrow? What do you need to achieve tomorrow? It frees up your mind as well. So I'm not thinking, oh God, I've forgotten that. Oh goodness, I've forgotten that. Just frees your mind to be more productive because you can look back at your list. I then look at the list at the end of the day and I go, okay, what isn't highlighted? There's some things I haven't achieved, and there's often a reason for that. So I'll actually put at the end of the day a little summary, here, what did I do? What didn't I do, and why didn't I? Was it a good day? Did I feel like I was on task today? Did I feel like I was on purpose? And that's been really good for me, because what I can do then is look back and go, okay, I didn't do that. It still needs to be done. I'm going to put it to tomorrow, but I know why I didn't do it. But I find if I shuffle something 3 times, there's 3 days that it's been on my to-do list and I haven't done it, I then go, why did I not do it? And I've got a couple of examples that have happened over the last couple of weeks. One was a business call I had to make, which was just to cancel a Yellow Pages ad, and I was so resistant to doing it. It was on the list 3 times. It's like, I don't understand this. And it all came down to I don't like letting people down. So even though all I was doing was, ringing Yellow Pages to cancel an ad, I felt I was letting somebody down. So that had to go on my list the next day. It had to be the first thing I did, and I had to make a really conscious decision and then a conscious effort to even do it. I was surprised at how much effort it took. Once it was done, it was great. I've had another example where for a couple of days I was putting a vision board on my list. It was something that comes into and out of my life at different times. Some people in groups that I'm in are using it, and I sort of thought, I really need to do a vision board. And it kept getting shuffled from one day to the next. And I realized right now, it's just not in alignment with me. It's not what I need to be doing with my time right now. I like them. I think they're powerful, but there's just other things I need to be doing. So that's dropped off the list. So it really helps you be able to assess, what have I done, and feel good about it. See the progress you're making, these steps that you make day to day towards an end goal. And it also helps you work out that you're actually putting some things on there that were should do's, not want to's. That's a big difference. So procrastination is something I could talk about for a long time, because it's something that has plagued me for a long time. I'm finding right now I've got a real role and I'm getting through that. I know it will come back to me, but I know I will look at it differently. What's out of alignment? What am I not doing? Why aren't I living on purpose? But be careful not to get lazy too, because as I say, I did that and I just let the laziness take over. So I hope you found something in this helpful. If procrastination, misalignment is an issue for you at any time, and I really look forward to sharing something else with you soon. Thank you, and until next time.